at this system of equations, the first thing I notice is that here I've got t's first, but in my second equation I've got t's second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite these equations so the t's are first in each one. So I've got 2t plus 5r equals 6. Then I'm going to rewrite the second one as 2t plus 9r equals 22. Just switching the order. Remember, for addition, order does not matter. And now you can see for my t's, I have the same coefficient. But to use elimination, I need opposite coefficients. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my first equation and I'm going to multiply each side by -1. Because as long as I do the same thing to each side of my equation, it's still going to be equal. So this will still work as long as I do the same thing to each side. And then I'm just going to rewrite my answer underneath of my second equation. So when I multiply by -1, all that does is changes all the signs, which hopefully you see the reason for doing that is now I get -2t instead of positive 2t. So now I have my opposite coefficients. Before I had the same coefficients, the numbers in front of the variable, but now I have opposite numbers in front of the variable t, which means they will cancel out. And I'm going to keep going through distributing this -1. I get -5t equals -6. And now I'm going to use these two equations and add them together. I'm using elimination because 2t plus -2t cancels out. 9t plus -5t gives me 4t equals 22 plus -6 gives me 16. Now I simply continue on like I have in every problem. Solve for t. And then I take that answer and I plug it back into any equation. I can plug it into here, here, plug it in here, plug it in here, plug it in here. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into this very first equation. So I get 2 times 4 plus 5r equals 6. When I do that, I get 8 plus 5r equals 6. Subtract 8 from each side. I get 5r equals -2. Divide each side by 5. And I get r equals -2/5. And you will sometimes get fractions in here. That's okay. I've got my two answers. I need to write them as an ordered pair. Now, it's not x comma y, but you always go in alphabetical order. R comes before t in the alphabet, so I'm going to write my r value first before my t value. And there's your final answer. So again, we used elimination. The only thing we had to do was multiply by this -1 in order so we would have opposite coefficients so that when we added them together, they would cancel out.